Thanks, Nashlax. Love your pronunciation. 10 out of 10.
I liked it. So it's 5 out of 7. I'm gonna go for 5 out of 7 on that one.
Alright, so this is Turbo Force, and as Nashlax alluded to, we'll be attempting to clear this game using a single quarter rather than doing a speedrun. So we'll try to beat the game, but we'll see if the game enjoys our attempts as much as you guys are going to. Let's get this started in. I need to breathe a bit. 3, 2, 1, go. And yes, we indeed have this green demon, this modified Lamborghini Diablo. This game apparently has a plot, which is that a United States Air Force pilot was on vacation driving with his friends in this nice green Lamborghini, and then he randomly got summoned to another world where he had to fight in a random war with his car modified into a flying weapon. So that's what we are doing here. We are liberating this alternate universe from these green tanks and other guys. And right away this game has some unusual features, which is that your shot doesn't have infinite ammo like in most arcade shmups. Instead, every time you fire, shots are spent. Like right now, the power level went down. Now there's no visual indicator for how much ammo you have or what your power level indicator is. That is also a good feature. So we don't want to shoot when we are not actually trying to kill enemies. Now hopefully a question mark will spawn. It spawned, fantastic. We need to grab it, it's moving around a bit. Okay, we got it. And it gave us iframes for about 10 seconds, which is incredibly useful. These question mark items will be the central focus of the run. And they can also choose not to spawn. This time they spawned. And they also have a random effect when activated. And they move randomly on the screen, bouncing when they go near the walls. It's pretty interesting. So far they behave, but there's going to be about 10 of those in the run, and we'll see how they end up behaving. Okay, stage 2 already. We got these nice mossy asteroids, then the question mark managed to spawn, fantastic. Now we want to avoid this thing while also killing the enemies ideally. They stay on screen for quite a while, so you can transport them for where they spawn to quite a bit later on, which is very useful. Hopefully it won't fly into somewhere like inside this big enemy that's going to spawn. No, it didn't do that, good. It had the other effect it can have in addition to the iframe shield, which is a bomb that clears the whole screen with a small delay. That is also a good effect. So far we've only gotten good effects, very nice. They got this enemy out of the way. There's also some unique properties to how enemies aim in this game. They use a common behavior called angle locking in shmup terminology, which means that the enemy has a limited amount of fixed angles that it can aim to, for example 10, and it would snap to the one that's closest to the player's position. And that would be often represented by a thing such as a rotating turret sprite on a tank, things like that, or rotating turrets on these blue enemies. The thing is that every single enemy in this game has such behavior, but they don't quite know how to aim right exactly. We need to avoid these question marks so we don't grab them too early. There's going to be another one, very good. Now we want to track which one was spawned first, so we use the old and moldy one on this guy. It gave us a bad effect. Oh no, this is not good. I'm also underpowered, so this could be bad. This could be real bad. No, that is not it. Well, at least we got our power back. Right, that white screen flash is one of the not so good things that the question marks can do. And now we're already at the boss, which we have to kill these turrets in the background before they start firing missiles at us, which we did, very good. This boss is also random. He's chosen from two possible bosses you can get, and this is the harder one, of course. There, we got him, nice. So we took a death. That means that the dynamic difficulty in this game has currently gone down a bit temporarily, which is another feature that is not so rare in shmups, but what's a bit more rare is that this game literally gets impossible if you've stayed alive for too long. So there is a need in the route I'm doing to die at least twice, and we've done one of those deaths, so hopefully it will be fine. You have room for three deaths in total, if you want to beat this game on 1 credit. And as I said, 2 of those we are kind of going to need to do the game's fun mechanics. So hopefully we'll have this under control. Hopefully we can keep these question marks on the screen. Well, one of them is going to time out. It's the earlier one, but the one that's going to stay, it's going to be ideally coming to Papa. It came to Papa, thank you. And now we can power back up. We can kill this blue mech, hopefully. Hopefully we can kill his flying arm here. Got it. There we go. And then there's another good feature in this game, which is rarely seen in maps, which is flipping into walls. Yep, you can just park your car right here and get through this next minute or so with no interruptions, which is a perfect time for our friend Nashlax to take over.
Heck yes, I have a $10 donation with Dota Joker, referring to the game we had previously, which was a Bug Life, that says this game is a little buggy. Not this game, previous game. This game just has a lot of RNG, which is being very meticulously taken care of here by our runner. But thank you so much for that donation anyway. And we have Videy with $22 with no comment. Thank you so much for that as well. We have a bunch of incentives still left to be met during the night, so keep those donations coming. I want to see big head mode on Batman Arkham Knight, like a giant Batman head. Who doesn't want to see that, right? Come on, let's go. We can make that happen tonight, everyone. Let's go.
Thanks so much for the donations. Maybe very soon this section will time out. Most bosses and other mid-bosses in this game actually don't time out. This is the only one that does, which is very useful because it would be very difficult if you couldn't just park in the corner during it. Instead of timing out other bosses and mid-bosses in this game, hopefully you won't see it, but the game actually starts spawning random missiles all over the screen that home in towards you, and those will kind of kill you eventually. It's unfortunate. But thankfully that parking space is free from missiles. Okay, we got both of his shoulders. Hopefully this final minion would blind our shot. He did. And now we can kill this... Oh! One of those minions apparently had walked off screen and he was coming for me. That is also a useful feature on that boss. Okay, now we got perhaps the first stage that resembles an actual shmup in this game. Where the screwed up aiming in this game is really going to be featured prominently. It really doesn't make sense how they aim and how we're able to tackle these sections. And they are specifically biased a bit more towards the right than you would expect. Right there. Now we want to kill 2 train cars. Got him. And there's also dinosaurs in this stage, which are very cool. And they also cause tons of lag whenever they are on screen. Very, very, very expensive dinosaurs. Worth the cycles, though they are super awesome. Okay, got through the lag, but fear not, there's going to be more dinosaurs and a bit more lag. We are going to have some fun with this. Then we're going to have the first real hard part. We want to kill these beehives, which release random bees. And the random bees also have infinite HP, apparently. You can't kill them with anything. And if they go in bad directions, they can really burn your board, which they thankfully do not do. Then we want to do a clockwise spin here. We want to kill all the tanks, got them, and then be done with it before these enemies spawn. And I think we got it. Then we got some more of these lag lizards. Another difficult section where we're going to try to kill 3 of these and then kill these lizards as fast as we can, but without going too high on the screen, so we can still have space at the bottom to hide from the other stuff, and that is exactly what we wanted. Very good. Or the beehives. Thankfully these bees are behaving. If they really want to get in the way, they are a huge menace, even more than real life bees. And we got this nice shield. It can just let us skip this whole section. Then we are not the only flying car in this game. There are also some flying tanks that we see coming out of this tunnel here, flying right over that cliff. The dynamic difficulty is getting pretty high, so if we don't get this question mark, I'm actually going to, unfortunately, maybe not be able to one credit that again. We'll see. It's going to have to come to Papa soon. It's going to have to come to Papa soon. Okay, it came to Papa. And it cancelled the bullets before it hit me. Really, that is what we wanted to see. Very good. Ideally, I would want to take a death before this, so the difficulty isn't so high that I actually need the question mark, but thankfully we got away with it, and that means we have 2 lives for the remaining 3 stages, which would be useful. But I also don't have shot power here. Oh, this is bad. Because if you don't have shot power, this becomes very difficult to kill these tanks in. You can see how the firepower just quite isn't where we'd like to be. But we got through at the beginning. There's still a couple more of these tanks. There's also a common mechanic in Schmuff which is called bullet ceiling, which is where when you're above ground enemies, they stop firing when you're close enough. Which we have to use in this opening here in order to be able to survive. Hopefully we could get through these things. As you can see, the dynamic difficulty is getting a bit angry. The enemies are firing fast and furious. We do want to die on this stage or the next one, we'll see. We don't have to die yet, but it would not be unfeasible to take the death soon. Oh, that could have been a question mark. It was not. Ah, took the death. These aim missiles can be a bit nasty. There's also a property of the dynamic difficulty where the HP and aggressiveness of the enemies is determined when they spawn based on it. So if you die during a boss fight that spawned with high HP and high rate of fire, like the stage 4 boss, and then you die and you lose your power, it remains at the high difficulty, but you no longer have the shot power to actually kill it, so you can actually just game over in one death like that. Which thankfully did not happen. Then we got Mr. Trump himself coming up with the wall after just a few of these random rocks. 2 of these rocks are carrying a power-up, and ideally we would get one of them, and we got it. It's random which rocks contain it, and sometimes they both end up on the left, which would not be good, but they did not do that. Very nice. And now I just bust some of this wall. But not everything. There's going to be some real advanced scrolling here. Guess what the scrolling is going to do after the screen stops and the boss shows? It's going to scroll backwards. Which is apparently a pretty big technical achievement. There's been word that some shmup, for example, were not ported to the PS2 because the developers thought that they could not make the backward scrolling effects in some games work on that console. Not enough hardware. Very interesting. Anyway, we got past that boss, and now we got the stage 6 opener, which is where I'm going to have to shut up for a bit because this might get rough. Still not out of the woods. We want to stay here a bit. Chill for just a sec. Dodge this arm, and now wait for this, and now we should be home free after killing down. There we go. And what makes that section tricky is not only that it's really hard, but also that the dynamic difficulty drastically changes how you have to approach it. You can't just learn the hardest variant and do that for everything. There's like 5 major different ways it can go depending on the dynamic difficulty, and some of them are really not what you want to see, but we got one that I knew how to deal with, which is good. Then we're going to have a nice Indiana Jones Temple of Doom here. We had an Indiana Jones run on the Beast team earlier. That was a pretty good one. This is about as accurate to the movie as that one. With these fantastic rocks we can get this power here. And then we don't want to kill this final Stormtrooper, and the reason is that we want to keep our ammo at the maximum possible for this upcoming boss. Who is he's a predator, but just ahead. And he unfortunately has a ton of HP, and he's also very random with these knives that he spawns here, and hopefully the knives are going to behave. There we want to spin around him like that, so that we have a safe spot there from the knives. Well, they can still catch you if they want to spawn in a bad place, but thankfully they did not do that. And ideally, if we did this right, he would be dead, but he's not because we missed some damage, but thankfully the knives cooperated, and there goes Predator. Very good. That's fantastic. That boss really can... he can give you a very bad time since the swords can just spread out in such a way that there is really nowhere to hide, and then they go back to at light speed and you just die. But thankfully they did not do that. Then on this stage we're going to have these random asteroids. The first fully random enemies of the game actually. Which hopefully are not going to hit us while we kill these enemies. Very good. Hopefully this enemy will die. Okay, got him. Then we can chill here. If you're just on the sides of the screen a little higher, these asteroids can't actually hit you, but you can't be here quite all the time, unfortunately. Ah, I would want that power up. Please, enemy. This is not supposed to. This is not supposed to happen. Please. That was not exactly the plan. So we are going to want to get some more power from the next power ups that could spawn. And they could spawn very soon if these asteroids don't hit us. There's going to be 2 asteroids that have possible goods in them. Okay, that's 1. There's 2. We want the P. And we want to not spend ammo on these to preserve some for the upcoming section. We want to grab this question mark, hopefully. And it kills these 2 enemies for us. Without spending ammo, very nice. Fantastic. And we can just chill by the side for a bit. We're going to have to dodge exactly 1 enemy here, as it shows up. Right here, go up a bit. And then there's 3 more enemies before the mysterious final boss. If these asteroids won't... didn't have quite enough power since the dynamic difficulty was rather high. Okay, this is the final boss. The other flying car! Aside from the flying tanks. Can't forget about the flying tanks. Anyway, he chooses random attacks, and the kanji on his hood shows which attacks he's going to do. And hopefully he's not going to do attacks that are dangerous, because that would be real bad. This is also, you may not be able to actually kill the boss before he times out and timeout missiles start showing up, which we would not want to see. And right now he's not behaving nicely. He's not letting me shoot at him. You have to go around him on this attack. There's no other safe way to deal with this. This is not good. He has been evading my shots for a very long time. And here's the timeout missiles. These are going to increase in number and speed as time goes on, and that might really not be brilliant, because on some of these attacks we have to stay still. And okay, we got him. Nice. Very good. But the run is still not over. As you noticed, there was no ending, but we instead got sent back to stage 1 at a higher difficulty. This game actually loops infinitely. So due to the dynamic difficulty system, it's not actually possible to play infinitely. The world record, I believe, makes it to the 3rd loop, and game over somewhere there. I've gotten to the 4th stage of the 2nd loop in my PB, I think. We'll see how far I can get. And time will be once I take my final death, since we are already on my last life. The difficulty difference isn't so dramatic at the start of stage 1 yet, but on stage 2 it's going to be pretty apparent that things are going to be a bit more difficult. It was really nice with those missiles in the final boss. And I forgot to mention, but the final boss is actually a Lexus LS 400. It's another supercar, much like this Lamborghini Diablo that we're driving. It's very accurately reproduced, just like this wonderful green Lamborghini. You can actually Google this Lamborghini, and it was in fact produced in real life in this very green color. It's been reproduced very faithfully in this game. We can kill this homing arm. Very good. And he died too. Let's park by this start line here. Stage 1 boss should be mostly the same. He's just gonna have a bit more HP on his part, so I want to not go above him before they're actually dead. Then here the higher difficulty and the enemies having a lot of HP really starts kicking in. Oh, no question mark. Yes, question marks can also do that. They can instead spawn as P items. We got that one in the first loop, but not in the second loop. And in the second loop, missing the question mark starts becoming significantly more consequential. We'll see if that's going to do us in or not. Don't want to spend any more ammo than we have to, so we have some to kill this bullet sponge coming up. He also moves and he only takes full damage in his center, so we kinda, if we can, want to aim, but I am getting this is not where we want to be. This might be the end of the run because good attempt, but
oh, GG's.
And we can also put our name on this American flag here. Let's give this one to ESA. The European Speedrunner America. Anyway, that's Turbo Force. Fantastic game. Very unique among shmups. Tons of great flavor. Nice bugs.
Can I get a round of applause here? He not only completed the 1 credit attempt, he did a victory lap on it. That was amazing. Thank you so much for that run, Eero. That was I was at the edge of my seat at the end there. That was so good.
Oh, by the way, Nashlax, are you from Nashville or why is your name Nash?
I am not from Nashville, if you really want to know. No, I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you later.
All right.
All right. With that, we have a lot more ESA coming, so do not go anywhere. We're going to go from a flying green car of pure death from another car just flying around tracks. That's basically it for us. We are going to be going to a quick intermission. Don't go anywhere, chat. No. Again, applause! Applause! So good. Yes. See you later.